Hello again, I am Blunty. Now, last time I spoke about Starfield, it was to debunk, and when I say debunk, what I actually mean is I spent 20 whole minutes absolutely dismantling a Bethesda fanboy's absolute lie that the gaming media is being hugely negative about Starfield in their pre-launch coverage because of some imagined bias that said fanboy utterly made up and was in no way supported by any evidence at all, which is what I looked at, the evidence. Today, though, we're talking about a very interesting bit of news that is both extremely cynical, negative perhaps, talking about how much of an immense failure that Starfield will be at launch, how catastrophically inept Bethesda are, or at least are considered to be based off, decades of their own clown show history, otherwise known as, the evidence. However, in exactly equal measure to that cynicism, it's wildly positive news that demonstrates something especially magical about Bethesda, a true phenomenon, which, should it ever become absent, would undoubtedly mean the rapid and complete collapse of Bethesda as a game development entity. So vital is it to their amazing, magical, mysterious, unbelievable success. And I'm not even kidding, it is kind of glorious how cynical and hopeful this is at the same time. A matter-antimatter reaction that by nature, by inevitable consequence of the fundamental laws of physics, can do nothing but produce energy. Useful energy. And I speak specifically about something called the SCP, the Starfield Community Patch. If you're someone who plays Bethesda games, especially on PC, especially Skyrim and Fallout 4, the words community patch will ring in your ears as church bells to Christians or the Adhan to Muslims. The community patch is a call to prayer. We raise up our hands and sing out. The Fallout 4 community patch, more commonly called the unofficial Fallout 4 patch, follows in the footsteps of the unofficial Oblivion patch and the unofficial Skyrim patches. The stated goal is to eventually fix every bug with Fallout 4 not officially resolved by the developers to the limits of the creation kit and community-developed tools in one easy-to-install package. It includes hundreds, and I do mean very literally hundreds of fixes for gameplay, for quests, for NPCs, for game objects, for text and item placement bugs, and everything you could possibly imagine or have personally experienced that is broken in a Bethesda game. And it tries to apply its fixes in non-destructive ways, so it doesn't make any so-called unsafe changes. It doesn't remove stuff, inherently alter stuff, or delete stuff just to get around a bug or whatever. This patch is considered so vital to fix Fallout 4 by so many players, it has been downloaded well over 2.1 million times. That's unique users, by the way. That's 2.1 separate Nexus users. If you include re-downloading the patch after a reinstall or putting the game on a new machine or whatever, you are sailing right past 6.6 million downloads for the community patch for Fallout 4. And yes, a small fistful of those are my downloads too. I've used it, I recommend it. But despite quoted assurances from Microsoft Game Studios head Matt Booty, which, real name by the way, Matt Booty. Imagine growing up with that name, oh my god. In any case, Mr. Booty, I'm sorry, that's very immature, I know, but Mr. Booty, come on. Mr. Booty says, we have an awful lot of people internally playing Starfield. We're working with Todd and the team. Todd would be obviously Todd Howard, head of Bethesda, and one of the most prolific liars in the industry, but we'll come back to him later. But Mr. Booty continues, I see bug counts, and just by the numbers, if it shipped today, this would have the fewest bugs of any Bethesda game ever shipped. So, according to Mr. Booty, a man with a deeply vested interest in having Starfield get positive press coverage and pre-orders and Xbox Live sign-ups and the like, so, someone who's clearly free of any ulterior motive or conflict of interest, according to this very independent person, Starfield will have the fewest bugs any Bethesda game has ever launched with. Well, let's talk laws of relativity, shall we? Considering Bethesda's entire history of publishing major games, not a single one of them has launched without an astonishingly embarrassing number of bugs. The words fewest bugs next to any Bethesda game ring a bit hollow, because Starfield could still have literally hundreds of bugs, and still, technically, have fewer than Fallout 4 or Skyrim launched with, because they had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bugs. Even today, closing in on 8 years since Fallout 4 launched, encompassing more than 2 or 3 dozen official patches, the community patch still needs to fix literally hundreds of other still present bugs. So just imagine how many bugs there were at launch. Hundreds upon hundreds, thousands perhaps. And how little that means in the context of Starfield having fewer than that. It's a meaningless statement. For crying out loud, Bethesda cannot even escape bugs in their own carefully curated, edited promotional material. Look at this. Basic shit. How to hold a rifle. The animation's not even right. Crying out loud. In any case, with the absolute expectation and earned expectation, it's not unfair, it's not mean-spirited, it's not fanboy bullshit, it's not hater crap, it's just, based on evidence of the expectation that Starfield will launch infested with bugs, because Bethesda got a Bethesda, there is already a community movement, a whole-ass organized structure, an official website and everything that has been building for, I think, the better part of a year now. And it is called the Starfield Community Patch. They have begun now, in earnest, a bit of a drive to recruit people who are interested in helping out with this sort of stuff. It's a project which is a collective effort by mod authors and the wider player community, who maybe don't have the skills to, make mods and patches and stuff, but can still be involved in reporting things and documenting the bugs and whatnot that we find. And in much the same way as the Fallout stuff and Starfield stuff I was talking about, they're intending to fix the bugs and errors and other inconsistencies present in the game. Their overall goal is to improve the vanilla experience for all players. This isn't going to be a game-changing mod, like you might be thinking of when you talk about modding. Again, this is intended to just fix the game, not change the game. They have a Discord already, they have a GitHub page, they have subreddit, they have forums, all that sort of stuff to kind of track and organize and discuss, all towards the goal of, staying as organized as you can in that kind of organizational structure and being as efficient as possible towards the goal of doing the work Bethesda is unwilling, incapable, or just too kind of shit at what they do to actually get done for the paying customers. They are not affiliated with Bethesda in any way. They're doing this for the love of gaming, for the challenge. They're doing this for free. They're doing this in their own time, off their own bat. So we, as regular-ass players without the knowledge of deep lore of the creation engine, can just play our game properly in a way that Bethesda just won't be delivering. They are heroic nerds of the highest class. And like I began the video with, I love, absolutely adore the complete contradiction community organizations like this represent. They have so little faith in Bethesda as a decades-old, very experienced game development house and publisher that long before the game is even launched, they're already organizing. They're anticipating the need to organize en masse, to work as a massive group within the community in order to work together to fix all of the many, many, many broken things they 100% expect to be present. They know it is going to be broken. That's how little trust they have in Bethesda. But at the same time, they have so much love and faith in Bethesda as a generator of worlds and stories that they also anticipate they're going to love, and love so much it's worth doing hundreds of hours of unpaid labor to make sure it can be enjoyed better. Love and hate and trust and cynicism boiling together in a cauldron as a storm approaches over the horizon, while the words are chanted in the ancient tongues of Papyrus and C++ to ward from damage and bring forth the spectres of hope. What a funny little world we gamers are to ourselves. In any case, as someone who has used community patches for Fallout 4 and frankly will not try and play Fallout 4 without installing community patches, I've seen the benefits and glory of it, and I very much look forward to the SCP. And of course, alongside all of that, well-known liar Todd Howard has previously promised that Starfield will otherwise be a modder's paradise, which is probably not one of his many, many lies. That's probably a truth, because Fallout 4 and especially Skyrim have massively benefited from being modder-friendly, either deliberately or accidentally. Those games have had very long lives, thanks in massive part to modders and mods. So I am similarly looking forward to seeing what happens with Starfield's modding scene. You know, outside the fixes and stuff, but, you know, the fun mods. The first fun mod that I want, a simple cosmetic thing. I want to turn the cutter tool, the sort of mining gun thing you might have seen in the trailers. It's called the cutter, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the cutter. I want to turn that into a Type 3 phaser rifle. I just think they look neat, right? It's a cool-looking sci-fi gun. It's elegant in its own way, don't you think? Any modders listening? Please, this one. Just for me. Thank you very much for watching. I am Blunty. Thank you as always to the patrons scrolling above there. I guess let me know in the down below, if you've made it to the end of the video, what's the first mod you want for Starfield? Let's start with cosmetics. What's the first cosmetic mod you want? Maybe you want Halo armor instead of your spacesuit. That'd be cool too, wouldn't it? Get the Spartan suit. Oh. Or I could stay with the Trek theme and do the EV suits. The Voyager specific EV suits. I like the design of those ones.